Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Abby. Today I am doing a video that a lot of people have asked for since October. I don't know specifically when I said I was going to do the video, but I said a long time ago that I was going to do the video. So here it is. When I first started saying I was going to do these videos and like when I was planning them out in my head, immediately I was going to be like very serious in the videos and gonna make it like, I don't know, like a serious topic, kind of like my abuse video. If you haven't seen that, I guess, and you want to hear or like know my story of a past abusive relationship, I'm gonna link that, I guess, up there in the cards for you. I decided that since I am still in the anger stages, which apparently lasts a very long time, just letting you know, and it's been over half a year, that I would just do the confessions of a dumped girl. This is something that I said I was going to make a very long time ago, never did. So here I am today, making it now. We're gonna be funny about it. I'm not gonna take this too seriously. Honestly, it's just like I'm at that stage where I kind of regret the entire relationship and that I just like wish it never happened, and it's kind of all a joke to me now. Like, I was so stupid to be in that relationship. Like, what was I thinking? Backstory, I guess, if you're new. Back in October, my 2-year relationship, it was a long distance relationship, which that's part of this video. Anyways, it ended suddenly, kind of out of nowhere. Well, actually, like literally out of nowhere for me. I'm assuming that he'd been thinking about it for a while because of people. A girl, I'm assuming. But either way, people act like after a breakup, like it is so easy to like get over the person. So like you distract yourself. You get out of the house, you get rid of their stuff, and boom, you're cured. It's not like that. You know, distractions aren't enough. Leaving the house can like distract you for like 5 seconds, but then something will remind you of the person you were with and make you feel like 300 times worse. And getting rid of stuff isn't as easy as it looks. Sometimes you find stuff like 5 months later, or you kind of like don't associate certain things with them, and then suddenly you do, and then you have to get rid of those things. I don't know. Getting rid of stuff is like a lot. I'm still getting rid of stuff now. Like t-shirts that just say Wisconsin across them. Ones that I didn't even know I had, but are in like a bin underneath my bed. Had to get rid of those. And some people get over it by pretending that nothing happened and, you know, continuing on like the other person didn't exist and they were never with that person. My ex. But I can't do that, so I figured that I might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That I would be teachable for a moment and show you guys what real grief after a relationship. It's not like a dead grief, even though it kind of sometimes when you have a breakup, it does feel like the other person died because they're like a completely different person now, literally me. So it is kind of like grief, but it's like a relationship grief. This is literally what it looks like. And I have some notes on my phone because as things were happening, I was writing them down and I was like, wow, people are just like, yeah, go out and feel better and then you get over them within like a month. But in reality, this is how it was. So I couldn't go in my room for a long time after the breakup because that was like the last place that we like slept together. Because he had come to visit me here in Canada, and when I was in my room, that's literally all I could think of, and it grossed me out. Well, no, it didn't gross me out. It made me sad. Now it grosses me out. But it made me sad, so I slept on my couch for 3 weeks. And the only way that I could get back in my room was rearranging it so much that it didn't even look like my room anymore. I also didn't shave my legs. Like literally shaved legs. Who? Never heard of her. Literally, I was in such like a down spot that I just laid on my couch all the time. I took this stuff for anxiety and I was just like passed out all the time. Like when I wasn't sleeping, I was just crying. I was a mess. I was pathetic, to be honest. So that also meant that I kind of didn't take care of myself as much as I should. Like I didn't eat very much. I was like forced to get off the couch and go like shower. And once I showered, I just went right back to the couch and slept and felt like crap, which also meant that I didn't shave my legs for a very long time. I think that before the breakup was the last time I like shaved my armpits. And if you didn't know, this is a very strange fact, but my armpits stopped growing hair a long time ago. So I just have had like bald armpits for like over 7 months now, and it's not bad. Like there's obviously something going on, but I'm okay not shaving my armpits all the time, to be honest. I had 0 self-esteem. It was awful. Like, I've never felt worse about myself in my entire goddamn life. Like, when my abusive ex called me fat, still felt better than that. Like, that, when my ex called me fat, like, that was nothing. Because I knew he was a shit human and he was a shit person. So getting called fat by him, like, didn't really mean anything. But here I am thinking that this guy that I was with was, like, a good person, and then he treated me like actual dirt. We'll get into that. Yeah, I just had very low self-esteem. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm disgusting. It was a lot. I cried for the first 2 weeks. I stopped for a week, and then I cried once more after that, and then I didn't cry anymore after that. I haven't cried since like the beginning of November. Once I reached the anger stage, I like really reached the anger stage, so much so that when I was getting rid of stuff from my room, I took a Furby, which might sound weird, but he gave me a Furby for Christmas. So I decided that since I was so pissed off, I should take that Furby, instead of like doing something useful like giving it to my 6-year-old niece, I took it into the garage, took a hammer, and smashed the actual shit out of that Furby. Like, it kind of turned on halfway through too, and it was just like watching it die was emotional. I had a 2-week migraine due to stress. So I very often get migraines. My migraines are very much like hormonal caused. If I'm about to get my period, I get a migraine. If I need to get my shot because I'm on a birth control shot and it's like running out, I get a migraine. If I sleep too much, I get a migraine. If I don't sleep enough, I get a migraine. So my stress caused like a hormonal imbalance within my system. It was really messed up. There was things happening that I didn't know could happen. But yeah, the hormone imbalance therefore caused insane constant migraines. I also had constant anxiety attacks. Like, I was pretty used to having anxiety attacks. Usually they were right before I went to bed that I would have anxiety attacks, just like the last couple of years. Feel like it might be because, you know, I have only nightmares when I'm sleeping. Might be it, but these anxiety attacks were like 200 times worse than the normal anxiety attacks that I've had. I literally thought something was wrong with my heart, because when my anxiety is so bad, like, my heart thumps harder than I have ever felt ever. And it was constantly thumping, just all the time. So I was like, something has to be wrong with my heart. Which, by the way, when I was in the ER the other week, the guy who was doing my ultrasound said that I had a perfect heart. So we're good, guys. The breakup literally didn't cause any heartbreak. But yeah, I had chest pains and I needed to take medication for anxiety. So this one's more of a serious point. Like, what I wrote down was serious. I don't really know how I'm gonna turn this into like something comedic. So I said that I never felt worse about my body and my personality or I was as a human ever. So I also wrote, like I said earlier, that in my past abusive relationship, like, I knew the issue lied with them. If they were picking on me, I knew that it lied with them. They had the issues. They were like that towards me because there was something wrong with them. With this one, I felt like it was all me, that something was wrong with me because all of the blame was placed on me. Like, throughout the whole oh my god, I don't even know how to like get into this. But the whole thing was blamed on me. It was my fault. So therefore, obviously the problem lied with me. Now, clearly I don't feel like that. Now that I'm in the anger stage, I fucking see what it really was. And now I see it wasn't about me. Or maybe it was in his mind at that moment. But in the end, the way that I was treated after everything, not about me. That's all you, honey. Another thing that was serious that I wrote was that removing things from your room, like I said earlier, it won't make it feel like home again. It'll feel like super empty. And once I moved my room around, it felt super empty. It didn't even feel like my room anymore, but I made it home again. Like, I made it into my home. I made it what I wanted it to be. I have like a giant Disney shelf now, for God's sakes. Like, it's what I want it to be. It feels like my home again. So even when you are at your lowest and the person who is hurting you is aware of that and they know how you're feeling, they will say things to you like, you're single, not dying. Even if you've voiced that you want to die. And serious note here, I became, like, I've dealt with depression for years and like mental health issues, and like, this was the first time in my life where I just felt like I didn't want to be alive anymore, and I was like dead set on not being alive anymore. So the fact that this person who supposedly would love you for so long would go ahead and be like, you're single, not dying, like, you're a dick. I also wrote this, which is definitely not how I feel anymore, but it makes me laugh reading it now. So I said that I don't know if I'll ever date again, and if I don't date, I'm never sleeping with anybody again. It says, good thing about what's his fuck, which I'm sorry if you don't appreciate swearing, but that's what I've called him since the incident, especially to my friends in my bae chat on Discord, sup baes. That's what he's referred to as. So the good thing about him is that we hadn't slept with a lot of people when we met each other. We shared like political views. We had a lot in common. So it felt like easy. So I just feel like that's never gonna happen again. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna date. But there's cute people in the world, so clearly I'm gonna date again. And I'm cute, so clearly I'm gonna date again. Not to like toot my own horn, but to toot my own horn. So here is a section. I was gonna make this into a whole different video, but again, because I'm being like, I'm not gonna take this super seriously and make it into like this solemn video, I was going to elaborate a lot more on the first part. But since I'm like, literally I'm just no longer in the stage where I feel sad anymore. I'm just no longer in the stage where I'm looking back and I'm looking at this list of things that I wrote and I'm just like yeah, it sucked, but who fucking cares anymore? I'm at the point where I just regret the relationship, and that's basically it. I have a list of things I learned. I have a list of negative things I learned and a list of positive things I learned. So we're gonna get the negatives out of the way and then move to the positives, because positivity. So negatives. Do not watch favorite movies and shows with your boyfriend, because if you break up, guess what you're not gonna wanna watch? Your favorite movies and your favorite shows. I'm lucky enough that I never watched my favorite movie with him. I did with my last ex-boyfriend, but I ended that relationship, so it was kind of easier to just go back into watching that movie. Just don't do it. And the same with music. Do not show your favorite music or musicals, especially, to those boyfriends or your significant others. Just don't do it. It took me so long to start watching How I Met Your Mother again. Like, how sad is that? When they released the Game of Thrones trailer, still haven't watched the trailer, but when they released the trailer, I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch Game of Thrones because I watched it with my ex. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. And then a guy from my work gave me his password for his Crave account, so guess who's watching Game of Thrones? One thing that I put in quotes, because my friend and like honestly one of my biggest supporters like in life and especially through the breakup, my good friend Tamara, I love you. She said to me, if someone shows you who they are, believe them. And holy shit, it's so true. If people show you like this negative side of them that you don't like, don't just like write it off and just be like, yeah, but they have so many other good qualities. Like, no, if they have a shitty part of their personality, like believe the shitty part of their personality. Why am I spinning? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ew, it turned me to face the mirror. Okay. I don't like you, ghost. Stop. It was a quote that definitely resonated with me, because at the beginning of the breakup, when he was when the person was showing their true colors to me, I still like wrote it off and was like, yeah, but they're a really nice person, they're this, they're that. Like, no. Don't let the few good qualities overthrow the shitty shit that they're showing you at the moment. The shitty shit. The next point, if you don't feel good enough for someone, odds are they feel you're not good enough for them either. That was something that I learned throughout the relationship. I never felt good enough for this person, which by the way, 1000% was good enough and am good enough for anybody. But if you feel like you're not good enough for that person, odds are it's because they're making you feel like you're not good enough for them. So you should probably run. Just run. You should feel, oh my god, my best friend is offering me cake. Yes, I want the last piece of cake. But yeah, if you have a feeling that you're not good enough, like if you sit there every night and you're like, oh my god, like they're so good and I'm just not, and like they shouldn't be with me because I'm not good enough for them, leave. Because they're the ones making you feel like that, and you should feel like you are good enough for anybody, because bitch you are. Bitch I am. If somebody really loved you, they wouldn't be able to have you out of their life so quickly and easily. 1000% true. I learned this with relationships, I've learned this with friendships, and this past breakup just solidified that, to be honest. I put you never know who someone is truly, but I do feel like you do. I mean, there was definitely pieces and personality traits that I ignored when I was in the relationship, because I was in the relationship, because I wanted to see the good and I didn't want to see any negative. There's things I was warned about before the relationship, and then I ignored that person, just ignored what they were saying, and kabing, kabang, kaboom, I experienced exactly what they were saying I was going to experience. Don't ignore signs. The anger stage is both the best and hardest stage of grief. No longer feel like it's the hardest. At the beginning it was really hard, but now that I've been in the anger stage for a really long time, I can say that it is the best stage, because it feels good to be mad. People can go from caring about you for 2 years to hating you within a day without notice. Truth. People will say one thing to your face and then hours later say something completely different or act like stranger to others. So, true. Yet again, had a conversation with the person. They said one thing, not to my face, because you know, it was all over text, including the breakup, just to let you know. Another sign that I never should have gotten into that relationship. They say something to you and then go say something to a whole other group of people after that's completely different. You should probably run for your life. But clearly they're just not a trustworthy person. And yet this is a person who said that if I ever lied to them that they would never trust me and we'd break up. So I mean, shit, like, oh my god. The most two-faced person. What a Gemini. I said never apologize for shit if you know you won't get an apology in return. And if they don't apologize in return, they are an asshole. I learned this with my abusive relationship. I apologized so often for shit. First of all, shit that I didn't even do, that like, I apologized for literally not even being wrong. I was right and I'd apologize. And again, with this relationship, the same goddamn thing. I apologize for shit that I didn't need to apologize for. Post breakup, I apologize for shit. And looking back, I fucking hate that I apologized for anything, because guess what? They didn't deserve my apology. And guess what? I didn't get a single apology in return. The only time I got an apology is when I pointed out that I wasn't being apologized to. Are you kidding? And kind of to go with that, they will make you feel guilty even if you've literally done nothing. This is the one thing that I realized, like I added to this a little while after the breakup, because the more I talk to in real life friends and even online friends about shit, it just popped into my mind like how weird this was. If they don't have friends in real life or long-lasting friendships outside of their romantic relationships, that's a red flag. And because I was so like infatuated with this person, I had never seen it as a red flag. I just saw it as like, that's them, that's their life, that's normal, but it's not. It's not normal. If you can't keep lasting friendships in real life, if you don't have a best friend other than your relationship, like there's a problem. And the last thing in the negative is never give up things you've always wanted due to a relationship. For example, I literally was considering not having kids in this relationship because they said they didn't want kids. And having kids is something that I have always wanted since I was a kid. I knew that I wanted to be a mom. And yet, here I was in a relationship with somebody who said that they didn't want kids. Like, why? Why would I ever? Oh my god, like, young Abby, you're stupid. Stop doing this. Now we are moving on to the positives, the things I have learned that are positive and good and great, and I promise this is gonna end on a positive note and it's not gonna be so negative all the time, okay? Bye. So, positives. I know more of my worth. I know that I am worth way more than what I got. I know that I don't deserve the way that I was treated, and that I'm fucking awesome. I know what I'm not going to do in future relationships, so like, long distance, not sure if I would ever do that again. It was really hard, and the only person, like, the effort wasn't 50-50. Another thing that I'm not gonna do in relationships is just like, I guess, accept somebody judging me for all of my flaws yet not doing anything to fix theirs. Another thing that I'm not gonna do in a relationship. There's so many things that I'm just not gonna do in future relationships that I learned in this one. Though it showed me negatives about the relationship and my past partner, at least I found out about those negatives and realized how toxic it was for me before a more permanent commitment was made. The fact that we were talking about like living together makes me, first of all, like, want to die of laughter, but also like makes me sick to my stomach. I have never felt closer to my family, who was literally there for me through everything. They like sat with me all the time or held me when I was having like literal breakdowns just on the couch. My brother would come out and just hold me and hug me and just let me cry, and wow, that almost made me cry thinking about, because my brother is just like, oh, I love my family. And another thing, including that, I said I wasn't gonna cry in this video, wow. I realized how much I mean to my best friend and my family, and that even though I meant nothing to my ex in the end of things, I still mean something to somebody. Like when I was feeling suicidal, something that I like definitely felt, I felt like I didn't mean anything. So throughout the whole breakup, throughout the whole thing, I learned that I mean something to somebody out there, which means something, which means I'm saying something in somebody a lot. Wow. I found a lot of inspirational quotes that got me through the days. I have an entire folder on my phone that is just full of inspirational quotes and like badass women quotes that I love and made me feel like empowered and good. I got through a lot of my bad days with new music and now favorite music. So Carly Hansen is somebody that I started listening to because I went to go see Troye Sivan in October. It was like the week or two after the breakup. I think it was like literally the week after. Went to go see Troye. This is my second time seeing Troye. Love him so much. He's my favorite of all time. And Carly Hansen opened up for him, and so did Kim Petras, and I love them both so much now. I got to rewatch Friends like 3 times, so much so that I got sick of it, which has literally never happened to me before. I've never gotten sick of Friends, and now I'm back to watching it every night while I go to sleep. I got to spend a lot more time with my mom, which was something that I stopped doing during the relationship because I literally spent so much time at night waiting to be Skyped and on streams because I felt like that was the way that we spent time together and like online, and that used to be like the time that me and my mom used to hang out, and the relationship with my mom like means a lot. So I spent a lot more time with my mom, and we started rewatching, like we started watching new shows together. We watched Haunting of Hill House together, and we started rewatching Gilmore Girls together, which has been our show since I was really young. So it felt good to reconnect kind of with my mom. I found out who was actually there for me and who truly supported me when I really needed it. There was a lot of online people who at first said that they would be there for me and that they were gonna be so supportive, and I literally never heard from them. Or people who were there for me within the first month and then like kind of dropped off the map. There's even somebody who like dropped off the map within the last like within the last month or two, who was there for me like through the whole thing, but like suddenly isn't there anymore. So like, I don't know, bye. I found some forever friends and really great people. I realized that I will never put my heart, like all of my heart, into somebody else again, which may sound like a negative, but to me that's a positive, because I have a habit of giving up so much of myself in relationships, like too much. I literally give my whole heart to people, and clearly that's not working for me. Clearly I need to like rein it back in, give like a little bit at a time. Clearly I don't know, I give too much of myself and I get hurt, and I don't see the reality of things. I don't see the flaws. I don't, you know, I want to see the positivity in everything, and I just can't do that anymore. So my heart is mine. This is really salty. I'm not even gonna just like elaborate, I'm just gonna say it and go. You should never be with someone who you have to fake shit for in bed, if you know what I'm saying. The best way for me to get over someone is to pretend they're dead, which might sound harsh, but I do this with a lot of relationships actually. If relationships end, I just pretend they're dead. They died. And like I block them from everything. I can't see them on anything. I don't hear about them anymore, like they died. Oops. And the whole thing about that is like, if people start like talking about them all the time to you, if you still see stuff about them all the time, you're not gonna feel better. So you need to like set your boundaries and cut them off. And then my last point is, it's not even really a positive or a negative. It's just that if people can move on and are so quick to walk away, they never intended to stay. And they probably had been moving on prior to the breakup, which is very clear and adamant within this situation, if you know the situation through and through. Just saying. So half a year later, you kind of know how I'm feeling, and I'm happy, and honestly I kind of like being single. I don't have to like answer to anybody. I don't have to like, I don't know, I'm not like obligated to anybody. I don't know, I'm like in a relationship with myself, and it kind of feels really good. And I spend a lot of time with my friends, and they make me really happy, and I don't know, I just don't need anybody right now. Somebody asked me if we've talked. We have not, and we will never speak again. Like literally never. It's the reality of it. At the time I wrote that it's sad in here. It's not sad. It's not sad. It's fine. It's good. And it's necessary. We have no reason to ever be in each other's lives again. Like, he's blocked from literally everything. His number's blocked. on both WhatsApp and through text. There's no way to get a hold of me. So we're never gonna speak again, and that's fine. I should say the last time that I heard from him though, he asked if I could be pregnant because my armpits weren't growing hair and I had a side cramp the week before because he was like creeping on my Twitter and he saw that. Newsflash guys, lack of armpit hair and a side cramp does not mean you're pregnant. It's not even like a partial sign that you're pregnant, I'm just saying. One thing that Lauren, my best friend, said that I should do in this video is kind of go through a list of things on how to help somebody going through a breakup. Lauren felt useless basically throughout the breakup. Even though she was like the most helpful person ever, she felt useless. And she's like, I just wish that I knew what you wanted, because if she'd ask me something, I'd just like tell her nothing. Because you're upset, you know, you don't want to like be begging for attention and stuff like that. But I wrote down a list of things that I wanted during the breakup from others around me, like people who wanted to help me. Be there. Words aren't enough. If you can, spend time with them physically. Literally, all I wanted was to have people around me, like all the time. I didn't want to be alone. If I was alone, like I was just stuck with my thoughts. Even if I was watching something, stuck with my thoughts. I just thought negative things all the time. I felt like shit. So when people were around me, it was a bit of a distraction. Even if I sat there crying the whole time, like knowing that somebody else was with me made me feel better. Even if I told people it was okay not to be there all the time, it wasn't okay with me. I didn't mean it and I really needed them there. Help them get rid of stuff that is from or reminds them of that person, because they will not feel strong enough to do it themselves. I literally had Lauren do it with me. We sat there and had a garbage bag and I was throwing t-shirts out, I was throwing souvenirs out, like I was throwing a bunch of shit out, and it felt way better to have her there because I know that I wouldn't have even walked in my room before her like helping me throw it out. Push them to take care of themselves, so like showering, brushing their teeth, cleaning, like cleaning their room, cleaning up around them, eating. They will thank you later for it. Trust me, if somebody didn't tell me to shower, I would have looked back and be like, I was disgusting. Why did you let me do that? Come in. Come in. You can sit on my bed. Lauren brought me cake. How's my battery dying? What the fuck? If they want to lay on the couch and, you know, watch Friends for a week, let them. Even if the smallest things like watching YouTube Vine compilations make them happy, allow them to have that. Watch them with the, watch the Vines with them even if you hate Vines. Watch Friends even if you hate Friends. Just do things that will make them happy. If they say something will make them happy, just freaking do it. Small things will make them feel like they still have something positive to hold on to. So like, Lauren, who's here now, just like literally sleeping over and watching movies and finding movies that didn't have love stories in it or were like anti-love stories, like made all the difference. Validate their feelings, never tell them to just get over it. That's what my ex did. They're in pain and allow them to feel and support them through it. Like I said before, I was stupid to date him. Like, I get that. I understand that. Like, I was the stupidest human. Like, dating somebody in a completely different country, like ended a relationship earlier that year, who that person like turned to me, like that they broke up with and was telling me all these negative things about them. Like, why would I ever go for somebody? I don't know. I don't know why I did it. It was stupid. Like, I understand that now. I wanted it to work like so badly that I literally ignored all the warnings from people around me and like from myself. Like, I had warning signs, like I had warnings, but I ignored every single one of them, and clearly that was dumb of me. Like, I get that. And my last point that I wrote on here is, if I'm the crazy ex for talking to people about my feelings and how it affected me and still is affecting me, then so fucking be it. Call me crazy. So that is all I have for you guys today for Confessions of a Dumped Girl. Like I said, I wasn't gonna make it into a serious thing because, you know, back then I wanted it to be a serious thing. I wanted it to be like a PSA, but now I'm just like so fucking over it. Like, I don't fucking care. So anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below. Also follow any of my social media. It's listed down below, so is my Discord channel. If you want to see more videos where I talk about stuff like this, I don't know if I have much more to talk about, but let me know. I guess I can go into more detail, but I went over a lot. Like, this is gonna be a long video. I'm gonna go eat cake. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!